I have 47 years as a physical therapist, and I've had many injuries, and those are the things I'm best at helping. 11 days ago, I broke the radius of my wrist, a radial arm fracture, and it dislocated or displaced the part of my radius that way towards the thumb. So, under a closed reduction with anesthetic, I was given a slab cast, and that means that the tensor wrap is around the slab of plaster that encases part of the ulna and gives it some support. But what I found, it wasn't enough support. When I came home, I wrapped it with some shelf liner and some Velcro, and that helped me be able to function, because the big thing for you to do is to get moving and get functioning after an injury. I'm sure you didn't hurt yourself just one place, like I did not either. And but I needed to get moving, and to get moving, when you're worried about being bumped, you need to have some kind of protection, I think. So I, rather than just holding it like this and then not moving my fingers, I knew from my patients that have taught me so much what I should do. And so I did get my arm up and moving, and the injuries are improving. So this is 11 days later. My fingers were so thick I could hardly feel them. And so my non-dominant hand became my dominant, had to become my dominant hand. And I remembered all of the many things that my stroke patients and several other people with injuries had warned me. Make sure you keep using your other hand, because you never know what's going to happen. And so I did know that I had to get it moving, and rather than just sit there and for you to memorize, okay, what does each joint do? Have a good look. You can see what your other hand could do, or watch somebody else's hand if both of your arms are involved. And in your mind, which is where the healing has to take place, start thinking movement and start thinking function. And elevation is what you need right away. You'll be told just to wiggle your fingers when you're in the hospital, but really you need more than that. You need function, and you need to be thinking sensory into here, because it's not just motor that goes from your brain into here. It's the sensory, what's coming from here going up into your brain, and memorizing pain. You've got to not memorize that pain, because that will hold you back. So start thinking normal. Start thinking function. Think about all the things you'd like to do with this hand, and you can mirror it. You can actually take this hand and say you do one finger at a time. After you can do massage, you can put some water on the fingers, you can feel temperature changes, and put your cream on, where you've got heavy duty bruising, which you probably can't see there, but just really work in your arnica creams, whatever it is that you're using, to help minimize some of your bruising. So this is just 11 days after, but it's not just here, it's through my body. I did quite a nasty fall. So we want to be able to get these fingers start to go straight, not to just be curled up like this, because the tendons that do this movement are right in here. You can see those tendons, they pull down and make a fist, and that's your flexor tendons. On the other side, the ones that open up are over here, and they all need to be exercised or they get stuck. They run along in little sheaths, and they get fibrous tissue in there and inflammation, and they don't want to move anymore. So that this whole system of the tendons ends up being a tendinopathy. So what you need to do is get it moving. It hurts, so embrace it, but don't memorize it. So I personally do not want ibuprofen, because I think the healing is better from what I've seen with my clients. So I stopped ibuprofen at day 2, and maybe I did have one more on day 3. And my body reacts negatively to that, as well as the acetaminophen. So I just knew I had to get off of that. So after about day 3, I just went on to, like tiny little quarter of a 325, so minuscule. So been off this for about, off any pain meds for over 10 days for sure. 10 days. And then just, that's when I start to feel that I can put some movement back into my hand. The thing is to think functionally. That means that you can cross you may think you never can do this, but believe me, mine were so swollen. And as I did the massage, it did help this other hand to get going again. And then making a fist. You can, if you can't bend it, and yet you'll find that passively you can bend it and it doesn't hurt that much. And then if you can't use your own tendons to open it, you can just push them up. So they're gliding inside their sheath. Think of like a knife in a sheath, it goes in and out. This actually is moving my tendons. So I can feel it. I'm going a little bit beyond where it's not comfortable. And if you don't want to follow an exercise chart, and I personally don't like them, I have my hand patients learn sign language. And it's like something you can use, and it's purposeful in the world, and you're not wasting your time. So you pretty much will use all of the muscles the right way. So you just start to go for your alphabet, and you can look that up. And it's not easy in here, especially easy. And turning this one, that means that I'd have to pronate, and I'd have to do that. I'll compensate with my shoulder, because you will find that the movement in your wrist, if you hold your wrist to the side, you really cannot roll it over at this point while it's getting well. It might even take a year to get that good. I'm not too sure. So I'm going to be finding out, because that is extremely in the range for me. I just cannot move it anymore. So learn sign language. Just look it up. ASL, American Sign Language, is fantastic. And then you'll be able to talk with other people and share the joy that way. But get back into functioning. And maybe this is my very first video that I've ever made. And I am going to post it. And we'll soon see if there's anybody interested. Then I could follow along with how this is going to come out of this cast. And I'm going to go into a permanent cast on Tuesday, I believe. So that's 2 days from now. So good luck to you if you've broken your wrist, and share the joy of American Sign Language with anybody you know, because you never know if you're going to need it, and why not enrich our world as well. Always start training your non-dominant hand, because it will come in handy for you someday. Thank you.